Okay, starting back up. Good morning. Let's get everything started as if we're going from square one. Okay, okay. We cool with that? Little hiccups. Little hiccups are fine, but we're good now. So anyway, good morning. It's uh it's a lovely Friday, and we are looking at the same kind of stuff today. I do apologize. So what happened was I got a new update. Wavelink is a software that kind of runs all of my audio. And my audio, when that updated, got completely borked, apparently. Like, completely borked. And with that, we didn't have audio for the longest time. And so we just restarted the stream. And here we are. But again, apparently the most notable mug for today. I'm just trying my best. You know what I mean? We're all just doing that thing. And that was rough. Anyway, shall we get back to the actual normal things that we wanted to do? I think that's for the best, right? Let's do it. Let's do it to it, Lars. So, let's just skip the Monster Hunter stuff that I was yapping about at first, and let's just look at some cool stuff. Okay, we're starting from scratch. We're doing the thing. We're looking at art. So this one just popped. It was a huge pop of color. Looks super cute. It's apparently an annual calendar for Hobby World, and this is the Lovecraft creatures. The super playful colors caught my eye, obviously, and I really liked it. I don't know what else to say there was. I like the little waiters. This is super cute. I actually don't know Lovecraftian stuff enough. Like, obviously, this is Cthulhu. This one looks like, I cannot remember the name, but I do recall this. But I actually don't know who this, like, merfolk fella is. I do not know off the top of my head. I suppose a quick Google search would help, right? Lovecraft creatures. Is it Shoggoth? Okay, so that's Shoggoth. That is what I thought, actually. Because it reminded me, I remember, so Shoggoth is basically very similar to Shuma Gorath, who is not a fan of the MCU interpretation like most, but it was okay. I appreciated seeing Shuma Gorath. I know Shuma Gorath from Marvel vs. Capcom. From right behind me, right? Marvel vs. Capcom, the GOAT, best game of all time. And Shuma Gorath here, I always thought was like the weirdest character. I didn't know who the heck it was. But as a kid, I was like, this is cool. I'm a squid guy. You know, dumb kids don't know things. It was pre-internet though. So dumb kid didn't have the means to just Google who Shuma Gorath was, right? I didn't have the tools, so bear with me. But yeah, this is cool. I actually don't know who the little other guy is then. I'm guessing Deep One. Amphibious race that permanently served Cthulhu and two beings known as Father Dagon and Mother Hydra. I really need to read some of this stuff. Like, it sounds so cool, but I never read it. I know my girlfriend's been on an audiobook. She was like, she'll do audiobooks, podcasts, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I need to get on that train. I really do, apparently. Just go for a walk and listen to a book or something. But yeah, this is cool. Roman Novikov. I think I've seen this person's stuff. Yeah, I'm following them. Which is why I said maybe I'll get on the audiobook thing, you know? Like, a baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. If I gotta go audiobook, I'll go audiobook. But I go for a walk every day, right? So I easily hit my 10,000 steps, whatever. I go for probably like a 3 to 5 mile walk every day. Doesn't matter if it's like -8, doesn't matter if it's 108. I'm a dog and I need to go for a walk. And I normally listen to other streamers, or I'll do like a whole like playlist ready of like different YouTube things I want to catch up on of just listening. But I never, or I'll talk on the phone, like with my my mom, my grandma, my sister, somebody like that. Somebody with family to catch up and stuff and just see how they're doing. But oh, I do remember this one. Oh, this was good. But I never do audiobooks. I tried an audiobook when I was driving once to Indiana, and I hated it. And I have the book somewhere. I think my book is in the pile over there. It was Good Omens. I never finished, never actually got around to reading it. I bought it, never read it, and I was like, you know what, I'll get an audiobook for it. Never finished listening to the audiobook. And then when the show came out, I think it's an Amazon show, right? Good Omens. Never watched it even. Because apparently it's just not, that's not a good omen for me, I suppose. But yeah, so this guy's stuff, we've looked at his stuff before on stream actually, because I really like him. But it looks like even in just the last time, I don't recall seeing some of these calendar arts. So this is cool. He did one for like just different types of Game of Thrones. And there was something else. Oh, the Portal one. I did like this one because I thought this was adorable with the big old GLaDOS up there. Yeah. I like their use of like their line thickness and stuff is really well done. I like their heavy darks for their blacks. That's what I've been kind of adopting for my own way of drawing lately. Is more of this kind of stuff where it's got like thicker, more playful lines, and then a lot of emphasis on the dark areas. So more like almost traditional inking of just kind of blotting in chunks like that. But so this is actually a good reference point of things that are similar to what I've been working with. Like this is perfect. I know we've looked at this one on stream before. And this one looked like the Shredder. Like a Ninja Turtle Shredder. Clearly inspired by Shredder. This is fan art somebody made. It just says Ranger class. And so this is based off of somebody else's 2D work. But come on. How is that not the Shredder, right? 100% Shredder from Ninja Turtles. Looks awesome, though. Saying feels like Shredder from TMNT in the best possible way. And I give it a heart because it is full of love. I still haven't changed my name on here. It's BrittonDraws. I'll need to change that. So what does this guy do for 3D Valerie? What do we got? Not too much, but again, as usual, not in America because we don't know how to make art. That's cute. That energy's fun. And I like the fact that he's got the eggs on the head. Nice. So this was the original concept. Still looks very shreddery. The second you change the colors, though, it doesn't. It's just that the color scheme is clearly inspired, in my mind, by the Shredder. Like, if you had shown me this, I wouldn't have thought Shredder. These are cool, though. I also apparently follow this individual, too. What a surprise. People who do cool things, I like them. Darksburg. What is this? From 5... I was like, this sounds like a game I'd like. From 5 years ago. I don't think I got around to playing it. Based on, you know. Ooh, a 3. That sucks. It looks fun enough. I guess while we're here, let's see what Orcs Must Die. Has that gotten any better? No, still mixed reviews. Yeah, I've been part of that Discord, or not Discord, Discord is in conversation, but part of the subreddits. People are not very happy, very torn. I saw this and it was a Lies of P piece of art. And as I'm like hankering, absolutely hankering for that DLC finally, I figured I'd take a peek at this one. It's been a long time since Lies of P came out, I feel like. For those in the not know, Lies of P was basically like a Souls-like set in a like classic novel fantasy world. The first one is Pinocchio, Lies of P, and then there's other stuff that goes on without spoiling in case people play the game. But absolutely, I loved that game. Like, I can't express how much I enjoyed that game. I'm a huge Souls fan, so I pretty much try all Souls games, like, as much as I can. Or Souls-like games in that sense. And Lies of P definitely hooked me. I had finished up Lords of the Fallen, and then I finally got back to Lies of P. Excuse me, and I couldn't put it down. I almost platinumed it. I refused to save scum it. And so I wanted to do actual full playthroughs. So I did not, I think I needed to finish my 3rd playthrough of it. I was like right at the end. Oh, these guys, I hated these enemies. They were a pain in my butt. But I'm unbelievably excited for that new game, or the new DLC that comes out. But we still haven't heard a single peep. Not a word. Lies of P DLC. Still no word. It's still just set for 2025. That's all we've got. That's one that I might actually, I don't know. I nixed my gaming streams, but I'd be tempted to stream that one. But I'd have to switch out some cables, get some stuff going on that way, because I've got that's on my PS5. But I could make it work, right? I could. I swear I could. One sec. Twitch is being weird. I'm just having technical issues out the wazoo today. Like, really frustrating. Sometimes, like, you do one little update on a computer and then everything goes to crap. And that's what's happening here. I'm gone. Oh, my coffee's gone. I went to go take a sip. That's disheartening. Anyway, so Lies of P is cool. Hopefully we get more soon. This looked very Hades like. Another amazing game. Had that kind of energy. So I was curious what else this person has done. Ooh, some weird stuff. That's what they've done. I like that. I like that a lot. There's something about, like, cowboy-ish robots. It's like that technology in a weird place, right? Like, it shouldn't be there, but it is. And I love it. Like, this all day, every day. All day, every day. I love cowboy robots. Don't ask me why, but I freaking love them. Like, the best. So there was a game, Steam World Heist. And let me tell you, if we're talking about amazing games, Steam World Heist, 10 out of 10. Both 1 and 2. Somehow they made the sequel even better than the first game. And the first game is one of my favorite games. And guess what? Robot cowboys. And pirates, kind of. Like, they're like a weird misfitty kind of thing. But, like, kind of cowboys. Similar energy. But yeah. Super, super cute. Super fun game. Cannot recommend that one enough if you guys don't play that. So this person's stuff is weird. Like, so we've been talking about line work and line width, right? It's always interesting when stuff like this is, there's almost no line variety, right? Like, when we're looking at all these pieces, it almost looks like technical drawings where they have, like, the same ballpoint using for everything. Which is clean. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, it is not how I do things, for sure. And it always is cool how people, because it's one of those things, you know, when you do something, like, how does that look cool? When I do it, it looks dumb. Like, it's that energy. But it looks like they've been adding more in their more recent pieces, at least a little bit of, like what I was saying, like more of the painted in shadows and stuff. That's cool when you look at stuff like this. So this doesn't have much going on, right, in terms of value differentials. Because it's the cold armor. Like, that gold just has, like, this brushed shadows here and there and a little bit of highlights. But then the face actually has a bunch of variation. So that helps it pop in a fantastic way. But yeah. Definitely Warhammer, cool stuff. There's a new DLC dropped for Space Marine 2, because apparently everything I look at reminds me of different games I play. Space Marine 2 stuff was super fun. If it wasn't for Marvel Rivals, I'd still probably be playing Space Marine off and on, but Marvel Rivals, am I right? It introduced like a new creature this time and some more other stuff, but real cool stuff. But anyway, I'm behind with my morning and everything got thrown off. So guess what? Guess who's popping a chocolate early? This guy. This guy right here. I just noticed the cat. That's cute as heck. That's really fun. All right, this is the last one I had up. And it's Gabriel Sora's. I've been a fan of the work for the longest time. Like, especially when I was doing 3D more often. Their work is just fantastic. And what gets me is they're fast as hell. So the new trailer came out, right? And they posted this like hours later almost. I don't know how. I really don't know how they do it. Like, cause maybe it wasn't hours, but like it was like right away how quickly they were able to post this stuff, because I saw it all over like other social media. But yeah, this person, 3D modeler, and really like their painting is so fun too. Like I guess I don't look at much of their stuff here on ArtStation, but I've been following them for many years. And like normally I'm not a huge fan of people that do like just like the 3D caricatures too much, because it throws me off. The energy is like, in my mind, that's a hard one to translate to 3D, but they still always look good. But then the contrast again of how they're such good painters too, which that always makes me so excited when I see people who can do both, like 10 out of 10, right? Like it's not like they're like, oh, they're decent at one. Like I feel like I'm an average 3D artist and a sub-average 2D artist. And so it's like, okay, this guy is like an optimal 3D and an optimal 2D. Like that's impressive. But yeah, always a fan when I see new stuff of Gabe's. Like so cool. And so the Fantastic Four thing, the fact that it was just boom, like trailer just came out and then it was like that night or maybe the next day he had this cool fan piece done already. I was like, geez, man, very cool. And I cannot sing his praises enough. And spoiler alert, as usual, not from America, because they do better stuff than we do. R.I.P. But yeah, so Stumpenstein told me I was looking at an armor set that I had taken pictures of. So I don't know, I guess it was off stream now because I had to delete it. This guy. This book. Absolutely amazing. Monster Hunter illustrations. This is the second one. I thought I had the first one, but I don't know where it's at. Or maybe I waited and got the second one because this is a combination of the first book and the second. I don't remember. This was a long time ago I bought this book. What's the print date on it? Years ago. Like before a lot of the newer Monster Hunter stuff, I'm sure. I apparently don't know how to look at technical information on books. I do not see the print date on it. But anyway, as I was complaining before, I had to wipe the stream because I'm an idiot and don't know how to use my microphone when it gets updated. This book is one of my favorite books because it has some finalized pieces, right? It definitely has cool, like, final artwork for the weapons and stuff like this. Like, so here, I'm going to hold it up. It's not going to read well because I don't have a second camera to show. But, like, they've got final designs, right? Final clean weapon designs, armor designs, all that stuff, right? It's got all the goodies. But then it's also got, like, actual information, right? Like, you can read it. It's not just pictures, right? There's some little blurbs of text all throughout. And to me, an art book isn't just a visual thing. I want to read. I want to know why they did the things they did. Like, what decisions led them to make the creative decisions, right? Like what influenced all of these things. And so seeing that and being able to read it and really appreciate it is next level. And so then they've got like monster sketches, and then the whole like back fourth of the book is just black and white with a ton of monster and armor sketches, like just absolutely littered. But again, the dumbest shape of a book I've ever held in my life. It's super wiggly and it's super long. It's hard to gauge just how long this is because the perspective I'm holding it on camera, but it is so long. Like, where's my iPad? Don't mind me. This is it. And here's the iPad. Like, the iPad's a pretty tall device. Why is this so damn long? It doesn't fit on a shelf. You gotta get special shelves usually. And it gets a special shelf called the Misfit Bookshelf with all the weirdo shapes. But anyway, so I had this armor pulled up from the book that I took some pictures of that I thought looked cool. Especially since I'm working on the female figure right now, trying to study that more. So I thought this would go well. I really liked this headdress piece. Why does it say it's zoomed into max at 31? Man, it is being weird today. Yeah. I don't know why it's being so awkward. I'll have to see what Windows did. But anyway, so with that armor, I said, that looks dope. And then Stumpenstein said, that is Nargacuga. And I said, excuse me? And so I looked it up, and this looks really cool. It's like a little bat dragon energy. Like, I really like this creature, like a whole lot. And I don't know if I played against this one ever. The main one I played was Monster Hunter World. So I don't, and I never, Iceborne. Okay, so this was they were in the later parts, and I never played Iceborne. I missed out. This thing's cool. Weirdly enough, this is one of my favorite looking guys we've seen. Like, I've seen a lot of Monster Hunter creatures. Something about this one hits. That is 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I take it back. 11 out of 10. I'll scroll so you can see better. Ooh, adorable. Adorable. Oh, I like this then too, like another one with the creature. Though it is odd, the idea of like wearing the armor with the creature, because it's like, hey man, I've got your dad's like leg on my arm, but hang out with me. Like, energy's kind of weird, but it's fine. It's fine. It looks cool. Oh, so is this not hair? So in the sketch, it looks like that's hair. But is this like more of like a... So there's the mesh here. I did note that. Oh. Armor. Let's type in armor then, so we get a better... So I've got the, the drawings from the actual art book, but I am curious because one thing that's not conveyed too well is this part. So this isn't hair then. This is like some other spiky bits. But there it looks like hair. But here it doesn't. I'm confused. What did this... She made it look like hair. I guess it's whatever the heck I want, right? I can do whatever I want. And I'm gonna. But now the real question is, what weapon? Like, so I want to draw her. So she's got a sword. Is that what this is? Sword? I like sword stuff. Swords and hammers are usually like, I like that energy. The hidden saber. Oh, so here's all the things you can craft, right? So it looks like it leans into the feathery, which makes sense. I don't know how much I like that hammer, though. As much as I like drawing hammers, I don't know if I like Not like drawing hammers, but I like drawing like the poses, right? Like a heavy oomph. Why is this quality like hot doo-doo? So this is a great sword, so this is even bigger. I wonder if I've got pictures of these in the art book itself, so I can maybe get a better view, right? And like an official view, if you will. So let me peruse now that I know kind of what I'm looking for. There's no text in terms of like the armor sets and weapons here in the book. So it kind of makes it difficult to know what's what. I think I found it. So there's like the pole, like the javelin, the bow and arrow looks pretty cool. I don't even know. Like some of the weapons just look like cool things. My brain doesn't tell me what they are though. Let's see. What do we got? So there's like a sword and a shield that looks kind of cool. The shield is like a sun pattern almost. I have the sword. Why is Facebook? How did Facebook open? What the hell? Oh, here we go. This is basically what I'm looking at in my art book, more or less. Not all of it, but I don't know. I kind of like the sword. I do like this, like, oh, Monster Hunter. I guess this would work too. Just going to the actual, straight from the source. Is there a way to search just by like all of this monster stuff? I wonder. I'm guessing you can just look at what gets used for these. Maybe. I don't know. This is a very stimulusy freaking wiki. There are, like, I know there's usually ads on a lot of these wikis, but sweet mama, there's a lot going on. Armor gallery. Where's weapons? Armor, weapons. Here we go. Okay. No need for my book here, right? But I got the ball rolling. So now let's look at these weapons. Let's take a peek what we've got here. So I do like the lance. Lance is pretty cool. Do we get higher? Oh, we do get higher res images. So there's the lance. The hunting horn looks weird. The dual blades, the long sword, and then a great sword. Great sword would be two-handed, right? That's the main difference. I actually don't. I'll need to look up scale. It's been too long. Unland. Yeah, we'll do one of the swords. Maybe sword and shield. I'll take a peek at the hammer though too. So these are the weird feathery weapons we've got to work with. What is this? Is this a shield? Is that what goes with the lance? Hidden stinger sounds like a weird thing to Google, but you know what? We're doing it. What hidden stinger? Is that not the name? Wow. Lance. Why are you not being my friend? So it is shield though. Like I can see lances here. So it is just a big old shield. Cool. Why does it look like a half a shield then? Right? Is that only half of it? Man, this shows how little I know about Monster Hunter stuff. I'm a phony. Well, a big old phony, I tell you. Anyway, my gosh, let's get back to just looking at the cool monster itself, though. I don't want to look at the armor. I want to look at the monster. Boop. Dope. Man. It's weird because, like, the way the tail is, some of the poses make it almost feel like aquatic-y. It's so, like, smooth. And, like, the bat like scaly texture almost looks like scales rather than like that like leathery texture of a bat. Man, that is a really cool monster. I like it a lot. I like it. Let's draw it, man. And maybe not it, but let's draw something like it. Let's draw some armor. So let me switch out my mug real quick for some water because I drank that really quick. Boop. Cheers. All right, let's not F up the audio here. So if I open up Spotify, is it going to break the audio and nothing's going to come through or go to the wrong channel or do whatever now? I don't know. Oh, Sock Ramen changed his picture. Oh, they finally updated. Oh my goodness. The symphony of the lo-fi. Here we go. Hour and a half. Let's listen to this. But now I don't know where it's coming from. So stupid music gets Spotify. Like now everything used to be like cleanly organized for me, but now it's not for some reason. I have to like like each channel needs to be remade because all these channels are gone in OBS. Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Let me redo these real quick just so I've got properties, game. Yeah, okay. I think that'll be fine now. So if I go over to like this camera, music's still bumping, still going through. If I switch between my other... Okay, so everything seems to work. Ish. I don't know, man. Stupid music. Where is Spotify? Is that good volume? I can kind of hear it, but not really, which is kind of where I want it to be usually. Okay, cool. That was a lot of trials and tribulations today. It is 11:20, but we are, you know, finally looking at drawing things. So let's do that. Let's grab my iPad. Today is, I wanted to sketch out, see a couple ideas. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I'm thinking I'll do the sword because I do like the sword. I kind of knew going into it I would do a sword. I just like sword looks in Monster Hunter a lot. They're really like sleek and clean, right? So you can't go wrong. Oopsies. And we have liftoff, I think. Finally. You can take a peek too. So the other day I drew my Shiranui from King of Fighters. I drew her because she came out in Street Fighter. And I had wanted originally to draw her, and I drew her on stream at one point, and it looked like garbage. I couldn't do it. And that's kind of what spurred my like studying of female figures on stream. So if we look, let's peep over to my iPad format here, right? Now, if we look, it is pretty interesting to see how much of a difference, you know, from the beginning. So this is what we ended with. This was my drawing after God knows how long of going back and forth. But my initial sketch, let's see if I've got the layer still here. So this is the final. Boop. Where do we got? So the initial sketch archive, we do have the very first one. Okay. Was this, which there's nothing like innately wrong with this sketch, right? It's not like, wow, this looks like doo-doo. It looks okay, but it's never looked right. And so going into studying the female anatomy more, understanding how other people stylize characters, I feel like it's almost night and day then how I was able to accentuate this. So I was really happy with that. As usual, I posted on Instagram. I got like 10 likes because Instagram's garbage. But at least I can put it on Reddit, and eventually that usually people could see it then. Unfortunately, with Reddit, there's nobody who like. Very rarely do you get people to like. There's no turnover, right? So me posting on Reddit doesn't really get people to follow any social media usually. It's just like they give it an upvote, and that's kind of where it dies, right? They give it an upvote, that's all, game over. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool, I guess, but I would like a little more, please. Like, I've got almost 1,000 upvotes or whatever on it, but it's like, that doesn't mean anything because it's just Reddit nonsense. But anyway, let's try and figure out what I want to do. So it's like I said, there's like swords or hammers. So let's swords or dual-handed swords, like heavy sword, right? So let's start off by like sketching some poses, right? That's usually the easiest way. So let's start a new piece. My 11 by 17 as usual. Get my so I've been working to this. There's a transition edge that somebody had made. JJ Harrison, right? And I completely have tweaked this brush now 10 times over. And now it's like my brush. I do that with everybody's where I'm like, cool idea, thanks, let me run with it. And so basically I turned this brush into my new like inking brush. So I'm actually going to move it because I use this way more often now. So it kind of, I need to reorganize how these are structured anyway. Because like, I don't need my watercolor stuff this close. I just was practicing with watercolors and I wanted them higher up. But like, I don't need them. But I could use like my hard round brush higher and my soft brush. I use these guys like quite a bit. So let's grab this. Because sometimes you can get like Procreate. Look at this. Do you see all these? I have a billion brush things. Like, and even here in my own set, there's a ton. Like you can tell too, if you look, where did I have? I had Britton's go-to brushes at one point, and then Britton's go-to one. I made a new set where I changed those brushes all around to how I wanted them. And then now I just called Brit Basics because I just gave up. There's too many I needed to keep switching to. And so now I think it's one of those things where as you do more stuff, you constantly change what you're using, how you're doing stuff, especially in a world where we have like all the technology to do so. But yeah, so back anyway, this is just my go-to brush either way, the sketching brush. Do not know who made this one. Did I make this one? I actually don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like at this point, I don't know. This is like from a billion years ago. I don't know. Did I make this and I don't remember? Did I edit it? That's what happens when you get too far into making all of these things. One day I'll do the cool guy thing where they make a brush pack for people, right? That's people make so much money just doing brush packs, which is wild. And in case in point, if we see how many I've bought, kind of makes sense because there's it just works. It's interesting to see the different brushes that people use. Unfortunately, that is a common problem though, that people associate the brush with the art. And I cannot stress how that is like further from the truth, right? When I learned digital art, I was told if you can't learn to do everything with a round brush, then you don't deserve to use the other ones because you haven't learned how to use the tools yet, right? It's like jumping to a shortcut, like but you don't know the track, right? Like you kind of have to learn the ins and outs first. because you don't always have the shortcuts. But not only do you not always have them, understanding how you do it without them makes you do the thing better anyway. Like painting, right? I kind of suck at painting, but had I learned traditionally how to paint, I bet I'd be better because I know a lot of artists who do traditional painting and it translates into their digital way of painting. But for me, a ragamuffin who doesn't know how to paint regularly, like I have painted, but it's not like I never did too many studies in school with my paintings and stuff. I always opted for charcoal or pastels or just graphite, or colored pencils too. I loved colored pencils. I did quite a few really cool pieces with colored pencil, like advanced colored pencil, but the good old expensive colored pencils where I remember when I was in college, or was it, I think it was towards the end of high school, starting college. I was like, I want to get some cool colored pencils because I always liked working even with cheap colored pencils. I used to do that all the time with my siblings. I would draw with them and I would just color everything I could with colored pencil. And I looked into how much like good colored pencils cost. Whew. I was not prepared for that as a jobless, like young adult, new adult. So I'll go on that rant later, actually. That's a whole story about books. I want to start drawing. So let's just get some ideas down. So we've got this armor. Where is it? Like this is the vibe of the armor I'm going with. This girl. Narga Kuga, I think Stumpenseen said it was the name. I'm probably butchering it. But like just trying to take a peek at like how the armor works, see if there's something I need to take account for when designing, like when posing a character. So really, it's like single arm sleeve heavy, right? You've got kind of that poofy leg vibe, but then the crotch is exposed. Not crotch, but kind of like the Ibuki armor, where it's like the inner the adductors of the leg there are exposed. Oh, and the abductors back here. There's a little bit of butt cheek showing because that's how things work. Fun fact, if you ever care, there's abduction and adduction. So as a fitness nerd, I know too much about this stuff. Abduction, the muscles that are your abductors, are the ones more for your butt. The adductors are the ones more for your inner thigh and the groin area. You can remember it because abductor has the letter B in it, which to me, I say B is for butt. That's how I remembered it years ago. Not that I needed to know it, but like when I was learning all of, the ins and outs and I wanted to know like very specifics because in my mind, I'm like, if you know the specifics, you're cool. But yeah, let's start drawing, right? So if she's got a sword, do we do forced perspective playfulness? So let's do something like a strong jump forward, let's say. She's diving. And then like twisting her body. And just straight arming it. Fist. With that big old sword. This is, don't mind how ugly this is, as always. But so we've got our shapes. The other arm will just be kind of like doesn't need to be doing much. Just back there, right? That's fine. And then she's like on guard, but she's diving. Let's say she's like stepping. She's stepping into it. So usually if her left arm is forward, that means her right leg would be forward. So if we're working with our dumbbell approach, right? We've got circle, we've got tube, and then we've got another circle, right? But if it's her butt sticking out the other way, it would be kind of this way. Because this leg would be lurching forward, so we'd see more of a smooth cut here, probably, for the leg going forward. And then this leg with the butt up would just be kind of like way receding in space. We'd see like the tip of her foot, right? Leg forward. Like real forward, not even enough space on here. So this is ugly as usual, but let's, oh goodness. So there's an idea, right? Let's kind of touch up that idea though, because that looks really weird. So let's play with that a little more. So she's lurching, right? And so if this is her, so this is the arm that would hold, wait, this is her left arm. Yeah, so the left arm has this cool armor. So this would be like the heavy armored arm. And the less armored hand would be back here. Okay. So if we clean this up, let's think of more of the shapes that we're working with, right? So we've got circle for the shoulder, the arms like coming towards us, right? So we'd have the tricep. If we do a little curve here, we'll do the opposite and we'll do like a curve on this side for the forearm going straight at you, the viewer, and then straight for countering that then, right? So she's lurching forward. We would see like the tricep more. The cut of the shoulder would be like that, right? Because that perspective we're seeing, shoulder would cut back probably. Doesn't matter. We're just getting the idea down, right? Hand holding the sword. We're just genericing the sword in the place right now. We're just going to figure out a pose that works. A pose that works for whatever weapon we do choose. Got our head in there. We've already got the hand blocked in. We saw, right? That messy thing worked. It's fine. That's her just dive in there. She'd be twisting her chest. So her chest, the center line, right? So if her face is facing probably down, right? She'd be like angling down this way. Looking down. Ish. Screaming. The arm would be, actually her arm would be bent, right? It'd be bending this way because it'd go back and back. But then her chest would be twisted, right? So her breasts, we'd see both because this one would be forward here, like right behind the arm, right? And the other would kind of be, because since this is stretched up, it would be like way up here. So we'd almost see the bottom. This arm's hella thick. I made her real beefy, which is my MO, right? If she ain't beefy, it's not coming from Britton. So diving in again, as usual, it's Monday, it's Friday, and I've had a couple days off from drawing too, so I'm extra rusty. Like, so these first drawings always are the worst. So I'm picking a pose I don't care for as much. I should have probably picked a more, like, I'm not too connected to whatever I'm drawing here, but I probably should have picked one that's more simple, I guess, for my warm up. Not quite a like foreshortened kind of energy, because this one, her leg would be forward, but this leg would be kicked up. So we'd see butt kind of, and then we would just see thigh kind of receding back in space. And then foot-ish, something like that. So you'd have this leg like jutting forward. That foot looks really jank, but that's okay. But foot. And let's have the foot like slightly up, right? It'll be coming towards us. She's stepping into it. So I over exaggerated this leg way too much. But I do that. I tend to do that when I get, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm foreshortening. I'm doing crazy. And then it's like, whoa there. Whoa there, buddy. But I always talk about, we overdo it, right? We'll always crank it to 11 and then pull it back to a 7 if we need. But break it first, and see what works, what doesn't work, and then pull it back, and we can kind of fix it. So here, her head's a little high, or low, I mean, so it would be a little higher. So let's just erase this. This is messy. So she's jumping like this. Her head would be a little, like there was no room for neck. She's just jumping in. Not super sold on this pose. The energy was kind of there. Not really sold on it though, for this armor either or anything in particular. But there's an idea, right? And it's fine that we used our idea that I didn't care as much about, that I was thinking about, as our first one. Because this is fine. Kind of ugly. But there is a pose idea, right? She can be diving, lunging forward with her sword, but also maybe not, right? What if we do heavy butt vibes, right? So that sounds funny. Like, what if we do like so let's imagine she is jumping still, because movement is cool, right? Movement's fun. But this time, if we're going like sexy route, I don't know if you'd really see much of her butt with this armor. So this armor wouldn't maybe be the best, but like, what if we just start with her butt? There's a big old butt, okay? And if that's the circle, let's do like line of action cutting straight through, okay? Just whoop. This is big. I drew her butt too big and then everything was thrown off. But so if she's like just diving forward, right? We'll have big circle for hips and butt. Tube, as always, for the center torso. And then another circle for like the back, the lats, and kind of the breast curve. But this is almost too small now. So if we amp it up that she's lurching forward, we won't see her face even then. It'll just be kind of facing this way, right? It would be like that way. So we would see like her ear-ish. Like if we have it like this, we would see like ear. Kind of like the back of her ear. And then let's leg up here more so. But we wouldn't really see it, right? Because we want the butt. What if we do the same thing and then we just kind of have like foot coming out? Foot, butt, diving, and then we'd have maybe sword here. You could be holding the one-handed sword then, right? Maybe. And then the other arm, maybe just kind of the same hand, the same weird hand, just her lunging forward with it open, right? So again, let's clean up this idea a little better, see if any of these work. So if this was her shoulder, right? Shoulder, but this is coming towards us, so we would see like, right? Because this is that's the shape, right? Because it's coming towards us, so we won't see much of the shoulder because the arm will be in front of it, that tube going in our perspective. The arm is still pretty locked in space here too. We would see pretty big forearm then because it's coming towards us. And then the chest follows down. If we have her neck up here, so the chest would be kind of, do we see like like a boobie? We would see this side, right? We wouldn't see the other side at all because of how she's twisting and turning. But if she's twisting, so her center line's coming from here, and then it like gets even more twisted, because then if we want like this to be hip, if this is hip, and then it leads into like a butt, and then leads into another piece of her butt down here. This is way too long, right? Pull that in, twist it a little bit. So she lurching. But ribs kind of twisting, and the perspective's warped here. So like it would look like ribs kind of quickly go into hips. So we've got like rib, hip, butt, maybe like a little bit of the leg, right? And then the calf coming this way. It could just be one clean curve maybe. Something like that. Is that weird? Goes like from leg to calf pretty quick, but all we would see is like the calf under the butt, kind of. I don't know if I like that. That looks weird. The leg looks weird. Do we just get rid of the leg? And we allude to it. Like butt. Other leg coming divey, right? Diving leg. The foot around here. Again, we'd see the underside of the foot. So the simplest way for me is always you just add a quick shadow to it. So my brain goes, that's under. Like that's the bottom or something, you know? And then calf coming like this. And then maybe we do like a little bit of the leg. That's not bad, right? Just like a little bit of the leg visible here. But then the butt is kind of smushing on the calf. Kind of messy, that area. But again, we'll refine it if we choose to do this one. I'm trying to do, instead of like, I always try and just do like one drawing in mind. Let's have a few in mind and see what looks good, you know? That looks weird for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because it just goes straight into foot. There's no like ankle down. And then we see the bottom of the foot maybe. It was just getting too messy, the visuals there. But as usual, if you just quick clean it up, it'll sell it better. So our butt would be going up. That would be like the hip, you know, that like the line there connecting to the hip. And then her spine would come up this way, but then it would twist real quick, right? So that's what I was getting at, that her center line is pretty twisty. And then her, I'm not sure where this piece would go, because her hand would be here covering, right? So let's cover that anyway, so we don't need to solve what's going on with her back, but we do need to at least show that it's twisting, so we can have her spine kind of shown there. That's not, so there, this space is filled. That's not negative space. But that's just like an illusion of the spine then. So she's like jutting forward, holding the, I guess I don't, this would still be a sword in my mind, this type of pose, right? Wouldn't really be, excuse me, much else like a sword going like that, right? That line looks weird now that I've drawn it. I keep thinking it's a negative space. So if this one's basically just a flat line, I kind of want to give multiple curves here. So it'll be like curve into that. Form looks a little weird then with that, but It's always weird when I'm sketching on stream. Like when I'm doing other stuff, I feel like it's easier to talk stuff through. But when I'm getting just like the sketch work in, it's kind of weird because I don't know what to. It's hard to talk because my brain is trying to solve problems in the moment. It's like when I play, like, if you're playing like a competitive game, right? I can't talk as easily when I'm playing like Rivals as if I'm playing a different game, right? Because it's like, oh, my brain is solving things on the fly, trying to think stuff through. So it's a little harder to communicate other ideas in that moment, right? I don't know if this is going to work for Monster Hunter. You know what we're going to do, though? We're going to keep this pose in our back pocket. I don't even know if it's worth finishing right now. Whoopsies. I wanted to draw Psylocke from Marvel Rivals stuff just because she had a new outfit that looks so cool. It's like a Demon Hunter one. Let's put this in our back pocket. So let's understand we're probably not going to make this a Monster Hunter one, but I'll finish out the rough pose for this. And then maybe next week or this weekend or whatever, I'll do a Psylocke with this kind of energy because she got that butt always. Her butt's hanging out. And I feel like this pose is more suited for that kind of character than this Monster Hunter character, right? This is like overly trying to sexualize it. And that's not, it's a fine line trying to get all this stuff. But either way, so her arm would be in a weird spot. How do I visualize where the arm would be? So if her chest is this way, we wouldn't, so her other breast, so the rib would be like this piece, right? And so her other breast would be in space back that way. So that would mean, or not really, because if the arm is being lifted, her one breast would be higher, but it would still be away from us. So it'd be like that, maybe, the shoulder. And then could the arm just be straight up coming out of the face so that we don't need to solve the arm, the shoulder issue at all? Because then she can just be kind of... maybe. So we see like a little bit, but that's going to look weird going against the face there because it's like perfect. We talk about that a lot, right? That like you don't want tangents, and that is like weird tangent going in there. So can we do it? Too low looks weird, right? It might have to be pretty high like that to the point where we don't even see some of the other bits of her arm. So we would barely even see like any nose or anything here, right? I don't know. That's a thing to solve for later. But yeah, I don't like this pose now. I like the idea, but no. I think the arm is dumb. I think that's what we need to do. What do we... So if she's not doing that, what else can she be doing? If it's Psylocke, right? We're picturing it to be a different character now. We're not doing Monster Hunter. But we are doing Monster Hunter still. But like this pose is not going to be Monster Hunter. Can her shoulder be forward? What does Psylocke do? She does like her like whoosh, like not ninja hands, but like kind of like that. Like, you know, she makes like that. So it could just be like thumb, finger, finger, almost like the peace sign thing. Like she's like lurching forward, doing like a something like that. Looks like she's just giving a peace sign. Deuces. I'm out. It's not quite the vibe that I want. Again, I'll solve this when I actually do this drawing then later, but this is back pocket for next time. So then I don't need to fully sketch something next time because I will have this. So we can work with that for later, right? I think that'll be a good Psylocke pose with the damn cheeks. But also she looks really long. Can we shorten it a smidgen? Whatever. Nope, don't like warping it. I was just trying to make it fit better in the space because I had it so big. Okay, well, not a Monster Hunter pose, but a cool Psylocke pose for another time. Got the inner part of her knee here. Calf going down. We'd see the bottom of her foot too. Again, would be facing kind of like that. Right. Really elongate that leg as if she's launching. But as usual, man, I overdid it. So let's shrink this bad boy a little bit. Now the foot looks weird. Whatever. Good enough. Calf would probably be sticking out, and then this would curve into a straight. Yeah. And that would go down. Erase some of the nonsense so it actually looks like a picture. I'm sure her calves are dope. Psylocke, she'd have strong calves. Because she's always bouncing around, right? Strong jumps. Her calves would be strong as hell. But we're getting distracted. This is not Monster Hunter, is it? No, no, it is not. Okay. Well, let's save it. Like I said, this will be for another time. Do I need the under sketch? Not really. So we'll just delete it. Goodbye. All right, Psylocke. Oh my god. Psylocke for another day. But I like that. I like that idea for another day. Everything going well. Let's do like a heavy, the two-handed sword then, right? So can she just be like swanging? She's swanging on people, right? So I've been playing Thor in Marvel Rivals, and I'm joking. Usually when I'm playing, I'm like, I'm swinging on them, because all you do is you just freaking plow them with that Mjolnir. Yeah, I can't get enough of that game. I constantly just want to keep playing and ranking up. It is a lot of fun. Even when you get stomped on, like the characters are so good looking that I don't care. Like it's frustrating, but in the moment I'm still having fun. And that is such a testament of a good game. But since we are looking at Monster Hunter stuff, I know the beta started back up, right? I played the first one. And is it this weekend that the new beta is live, I think? I wonder, I did not look into what's different, what's new. Because unfortunately, I'm probably not going to get the game. It's a very big time commitment, those games. And I don't know. I don't know. There's too much prep time. Like, I love them for all the designs and all the cool stuff. But in terms of like the moment to moment gameplay, I end up just like getting too lost in just doing things beforehand when I'm the person who just wants to go do the stuff, right? Like I just want to play. It's time to play the game. And so when I'm sitting there trying to like prep all my armor and do all these things, I get too antsy. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. But I know for sure I'll still draw stuff for it because why not? So if today we're doing a person, maybe we'll do a creature soon because I usually, if anybody watches and follows my art, I don't do much like animal stuff ever. It's just not, I don't know. I like the human anatomy. I like drawing people. But so let's have her swinging, right? She's swinging. She's John Henrying it, right? It'll be like almost like she's got this big two-handed sucker, right? So we'll get that upper body real strong because her lat's going to be pulling, right? As she's pulling, we've got circle, again, our dumbbell method, right? Circle, tube, which just actually looks like a face right now. Tube, and then her hips will be swinging the other way still. So then we'll lean into that dumbbell this way. Like I said, when we break down a lot of these shapes, all of them look kind of the same. So we can work with this same idea each time, and we should be good. This leg will be towards us, so we'll see it a little more. But she'll be twisting, right? I said two hands. So this arm, let's do, she's like fully going back. So one shoulder here being like yeeting it, and this shoulder will be crossing over her face almost, right? And then holding it like up top. Something like that. Ish. That arm is effing huge. I don't know what I was thinking right there. But then if she's lurching, her head would probably be a little more forward, right? Because it would be like a strong S. So let's say her neck is kind of like lurching and her head would be like here, probably at an angle, right? At this, and like looking up and screaming. But then something like that. But so her chest would be angled like this then, right? So this is that. Her center line at the chest here would probably be like looping from this way, twisting, right? Center line goes to the waist here, and then this would be kind of right down into the groin area. Swoop, 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 right? So let's do this shoulder. The shoulder feels high. I don't know why this looks weird here. So if it's like her other arm is outreaching-ish, right? It's going up. So it'll have to go up a little and then back down to hold it, right? Like not down necessarily, but down comparatively from our perspective. And let's just wipe this space so we can see the arm just kind of full crossing over. And this arm, I don't know. This is looking weird. We'll fudge it a little bit more and see. We'll make it happen, right? I want a big old swang. Like I said, like a John Henry vibe of like almost like a big old thing. And she can have like handle, blob for the fist here, handle, and then the sword itself is just like way back here. I actually don't remember what the sword looked like, so this is probably wrong. We're just making it up. And then I'll look at it later if I choose this one. So she's just, maybe let's warp that perspective a little more. So it's like really like something like this. So it's coming towards us really strong and going, receding pretty far back. So that's kind of the shape. Maybe. So even though it's really long, this would be like a big, if we're just imagining it like a guts, right? Like just berserker kind of sword, then maybe like just for the shape, the sake of understanding the perspective, then it would like thin out with like a strong curve, right? If she's just heavy like this, like a strong curve, and then just like that. And then we can fill in the sword design after, right? If we do a pose like this. So she's swinging. Her head looks like it would need to be a little bigger probably, but that's okay. We'll fix that in post. And if it's, I kind of like, since I've not been blocking in any of this stuff, let me just kind of like get in. So if she's got like, her bangs would be flying around. She's got like a mask on. Spiky hair bits. She's going crazy, right? That looks really dumb. That's okay. So she's swinging. We've got like a lat here, really strong lat, right? We would see really strong lat, and then her like ribs would be sticking out. And then it would like curve down. She'd be like bellowing her chest out to cut it in. And then we'd have like her cheek down here. Her leg would be coming towards us. So we would see a pretty foreshortened thigh right here coming towards us. Knee kind of facing down-ish. Our usual like calf kind of rounded out behind the knee. And then like, would it be planted? Is she jumping, or is it like heavy? Let's say she's like planted into the ground, right? She's committed to this swing. And so she needs to be planted. Her foot needs to be oomphed into the ground. And this one would be lurching kind of forward to kind of counterbalance that huge swing, right? Excuse me. A little bit of calf as usual, rounded out. Round calf. Flat shin. This foot, let's say, is... The other one's super planted, and this one's bent, so it's got like... The heel would be off the ground, let's say. Right? Maybe. She's like really pushing it. So long as one foot is planted, the other foot can kind of breathe a little different. But anyway, so that looks kind of weird as usual. But what if we drop the opacity? Let's liquefy it and play with what the shape should be. So it looks like right now, the overall vibe is there. Like I like that energy, but the pose is not quite where it should be, right? It's like, what if we squish this leg up, fatten out the leg a little more? Because it's really coming towards us, right? Let's stretch out this, pull in the leg here. Yeah, I don't know. This leg I might need to just fatten up on my own without liquefying. Liquefying is kind of hard to do stuff like this. But I wanted to like stretch this is all I wanted to get at, right? Is like really push this curve forward. Let's get this. Her torso needs to be maybe snatched in a little bit. It's looking very like dwarven right now. I'll have to just overall lengthen it, I think, and that'll help too. But I'll do that in a sec. So like something like that, but then what if we distort it and like make it a little taller? And now we fix it. So now we've got an idea, right? A bad idea, but an idea. And then we just kind of slap on top of it. So if that's kind of the rough vibe, how do we clean that up? Actually break it down better. let's say, let's focus on the shapes first, the curves that we want, right? We wanted this curve of the lat, and then that curve of the lat will, like we've learned before, balancing that with the curve of the breast actually goes pretty well, right? So this would be like under the arm, this breast. Her ribs would be twisting, so we'd be starting here, twisting around. So then her body would be kind of actually like this, right? We would see, if she's twisting it, we would see more of this lat popping out to go into the shoulder, which would go into the tricep, which would go into the elbow. Again, one day I'll get better at simplifying these shapes, but for now my brain still always says do some full muscles, give me that anatomy. So the lat, her ribs would be like jutting forward. That's what this tube would be here. So this lat would be pulling tube down, tube down, tube down. And then like flying, right? Let's really oomph it. Yeah. Center line's getting kind of messy now. This is getting a little too crunched, right? Breathing room a little bit. This is actually going down to the groin space, right? I feel like the breast would be even lower, right? So maybe this is throwing us off her lats. The Psylocke drawing will be a lot smoother, seeing as we already have an idea for Psylocke. But again, we're just seeing exploration of how we want to do stuff. And that's a process in its own right, which is usually not the most streamable process, but we're here. And that's what we're doing. So like the breast goes into that pectoral muscle, right? So imagine these are her pecs like this, right? So that leans into her anterior shoulder, her anterior deltoid there. So always doing like that little like boop helps sell the armpit, the breast, all that kind of stuff in one fell swoop, which is always good. This looks very constipated-y, this pose. I do agree now. I see it. I see the constipation. So this sketch of the leg would be like way lower now. So let's just do that for my own brain. Yeah, this is not looking like overly sexualized. It is looking just a hella beefy right now. Beef. Anyway, it is Friday. I guess I'll just kind of I'll sketch and I'll just talk about random stuff right now. I'm not even gonna be trying to talk about the drawing. My brain's gonna be doing stuff and it's probably not gonna be right, but it's okay. I'll just keep messing with this until I like it or don't like it, and that's fine. But yeah, so it is Friday. Not quite sure what we're doing this weekend. I know girlfriend has a haircut. It's one of the long ones, right? So she goes every like 4 or 5 weeks or so and gets cut, colored, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like every so often there's like she's like, oh, it's a long one today. Like, like every so often there's more time needed because it's like, oh no, they're gonna full color at this time and do this, do this, do this, not just do touch up or whatever. So I know it's gonna be a long one. So she'll be gone most of the morning and afternoon of Saturday. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I would say I'd play Marvel Rivals, but like whenever I play Rivals on the weekend, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't know what it is, but I get the most like dumb teammates or greatest enemies ever. Like there's such a weird difference in playing on evenings, like late nights versus playing weekends. I don't know what it is. It's just the player base is way bigger on weekends, obviously. And I do not like this pose, you guys. I do not like it one bit right now. And that's okay. We're going through all these poses that don't work, and then we'll find it's the porridge, right? We're gonna find the porridge, the bed, the whatever. That's just right. But yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do this weekend. I know, so last weekend, this is a weird story, but we have our lower level. It's like a weird tri-level, our house. Doesn't feel super tri-level-y, but it definitely is a tri-level. So the lower level, I have everything set to timers, all these lights, right? And we have a big lamp in the back corner of the lower level. But we've got a couple lamps throughout, but the one big one in the back corner. For Christmas, though, seeing as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 6 Christmas trees, I move that tree, or I move that lamp because a tree goes there, one of our many. And so I don't really think much of it. But so when I was redoing The Office lately, what I did was I made the decision to keep that lamp that's normally, I wasn't thinking. The lamp was in the basement. It's a tall, tall, tall lamp. I was like, whatever. I'll use this one for The Office. I think that'll look good because I wanted more natural, like I push an actual switch, right? I have so many of these stupid LEDs, and when they don't work, and I just want to get in the office and do something, it's mind numbing and I hate it. So I just wanted an actual lamp. So I was like, oh, I've got that lamp downstairs. I'll just put that upstairs then in the office and see how it works. I really like it in the office. It works great. It looks nice. The lighting works very well. Well, fast forward to now, Christmas is over. We put away all of our Christmas stuff, right? All of it's gone. RIP. Till next year. And I was like, oh, I'll go grab the lamp and, the different furniture that we have from downstairs that goes upstairs back then, right? Like the things we had to move to account for all the Christmas stuff. And I realized, I was like, son of a gun, where's this lamp? And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot I moved that lamp upstairs, right? It is in the office now. It is no longer able to be in that spot because I've committed now. I like it in the office. I'm not getting rid of it. So it's a basic lamp, right? It's like that old lamp where it's just like a metal rod, big base, and then like a glass half dome, right? Nothing crazy. And I was like, oh, I looked online, Amazon and stuff had like cheap ones. It was either made of plastic or like they're all like the canvas type lamps. I don't like those. That doesn't fit the energy of what we wanted for that space. So I was like, you know what? This weekend, which was last weekend now, I had said, let's just we live by an IKEA. There's like this furniture mart not too far from us. We'll just go shopping, right? We'll look around. We'll go to Home Depot. I know they have lamps. We'll go to, go all around. They didn't have one anywhere. Like, the lamps that they had all sucked. They're either like way overly designed or they look like they should be in a dorm room. There's no in between. Like, or they look like they're for like 90-year-olds, or they're like those ones where they're like a pillar up, pole up, and then instead of just having the light on top, it's got like, it's like a canopy. I don't want a canopy. There's not enough space. It's a corner. There's like a million like desk lamps or table lamps that we found, but the amount available for like floor lamps is weirdly far less than we expected. So do you ever go for like in your head, you're like, I'm gonna go get this one thing, and you just assume that that one thing is pretty common, and yet it's not. And so we went to like 5 different stores, couldn't find squat, like not a single thing that we liked. And I was like, screw it, I'll look at like Wayfair or whatever when we get home, and we'll just order one online then. But like, hot damn, Wayfair is pricey. There was like one that was kind of okay. It was like $160. $160 for a floor lamp? No, thank you. I don't care that much. It'll be dark. We don't need it. So, if anybody knows of a nice floor lamp that's like a cheap, but like cheap as in not expensive, not cheap as in crappy, you let us know, because we are apparently on the hunt, and a more difficult hunt than I had anticipated. So that was last weekend. So I don't know. Maybe we'll continue our search this weekend. Not sure. Probably not. It's really, when I say dark, it's not even that dark in the, like, there's a bunch of lights down there. It's just, you know, when you're used to having something. So you're used to having a light. So your brain associates there being light there. And so when there's not, it feels weird. But realistically, it's not like dark by any means. But it's also when I do home workouts, it's where my bike is. Yeah, let's twist this. I feel like it needs to be stretched a little more to be believable. And so my bike is down there, and so it feels really dark just comparatively, because I'm used to it being like lit behind me when I'm doing my biking and stuff. And so without it there, it feels weird. Like her butt would be longer. Longer and then sticking out like a cheek. Yeah, I should probably move on from this pose, because I don't think we're going to use it. At least not for today. Not today. Yeah, I don't know. Not vibing with you either. Big, thick sword pose. Oh, God. Lady. So, not you either. Boop. Well, what else? So we want to work with the sword still. But first, chocolate. So let me look at the sword again. Maybe that'll help inspire me. We could have done that lance. So that's the sword, right? I'm going to pause. I'm going to throw you guys in the waiting room. I'll be back in like less than a minute. My bad. Hold up. Okay, sorry. I'm back. We're here. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's not the right. There we go. So, this is the sword that I want to work with, right? We just plop it. There we go. There's the sword, and there's the girl's armor. Yeah. So, what if we do just like a super standard, right? Like I'm trying to like do something more intense, but like what if we just do like a really basic pose, right? Sometimes keeping it simple is all we need. But I don't mind like looking at these poses work. They're not like terrible poses by any means. All of them could work if I wanted to make them work, but I don't want to make them work, and I get to pick. So let's just do like she's just standing there, right? She's just standing. Let's do line of action. She's standing with her arm up. Okay. Arm is up. Holding the sword behind her, like in a ready stance. Okay. So ball for maybe like ribs and lat. Tube. Ball, tube, ball. And then hips. Okay. But then let's do it again where it's like over the arm or the shoulders going, right? So she's got like, you know, when you raise up the sword high and you're just like ready, like I don't know. I'm sure there's a name for that stance in whatever type of fighting it is. But anyway, she's holding her sword. Right hand dominant probably, but left hand this time. Sword there. Can she be looking down? It almost looks like with playing cards, the Joker or whatever, where it looks like it's like stabbing itself in the head. But so this sword's got like a cool curve, right? And it's got this little like boop boop at the end. So let's just kind of draw it in just so we've got. But then it's pretty flat, goes up. And then at the handle, the first part of the handle, it's got like those feathers, right? And there's like the bone piece, but I don't think we would see that because that would be behind her head with this pose. Make the sword even longer just to make it look cooler. The longer the sword, the cooler it is, right? I'm pretty sure that's what we learned from Berserk. I mean, if we look at Final Fantasy, they took that and said, you right, let's do it. Let's go to town. But okay, so going more basic pose, right? Not doing anything crazy. Her arm up. Technically doing it this way, it could be in front of her head too. But then we'd be blocking. That's a different stance. What if we do it so she's lurching the shoulder a little more instead of what we did here? So if the shoulder's being lurched more, it's implied it's like swooping behind then the head, right? Because this arm would be going. Like the shoulder would be more like this, right? And it would be swooping behind. And then this arm, I don't know if we'd see the shoulder there. But again, shoulder into lat kind of deal, into the waist, into hips, into hip, into butt, right? Strong straight leg here, like straight-ish leg. And this is like the dominant plant, right? It'll be facing toward us. Wouldn't really see the heel. Simplifying the shape real quick just to get an idea. Waist down, lurching this leg forward. See, like the littlest bit of butt. Leg straight. Let's make it like normally I cut in. I don't know, cutting in. No, let's make it strong. Like that's already an angle. This is a harder angle. So let's angle straight. Right? Balance it a little differently. So more of a powerful boop stance there. So that's nothing like crazy, nothing sexy, nothing overly whatever, but it also just looks more normal. All my other ones were getting too extreme. Though honestly, this one's growing on me the more I see it. Again, just because we drew it now doesn't mean we can't use it later. Just pull back. So maybe that'll help. Maybe one day, maybe that's what I should have called this. This isn't the Monster Hunter stream. This is like pose stream and just getting this one. Thanks. Yeah, it's one of those ones where like the more I sit with a pose, the more I start to like it, but like I hate it at first, right? And this is how that one was. So this one, I don't know if you were here earlier. So I decided this one with her booty, that booty forward, that looks like Psylocke, right? That's got Psylocke energy from X-Men. So I'll do that at another time. I'm saving this pose for booty Psylocke. Maybe, I don't know, we'll try and think of a different character or something. Maybe Rogue would be good too, you're right. But I wanted a sword. Like for some reason, I guess I just pictured Psylocke because she's got the sword. But you're right, that definitely is a Rogue energy too. But yeah, I don't know what we'll do with this one. I do like this pose though, so I'll figure something out at some point. I don't know. We'll workshop them all. Like I said, I first wanted to draw Monster Hunter stuff today, but somehow I ended up just being like, what if we just figure out a bunch of poses? And Kitara had a pole, like it was just like the Gambit's, yeah, her bow staff thing, yeah. Chitara could work. I could see that too. We're living that Marvel Rivals life though. Lincoln Prime, okay. Gotta eat up that Marvel Rivals. Rogue's not in Marvel Rivals yet. Yet. I really hope if we do get a Rogue. See, now this is where it hits me hard, right? So Marvel Rivals, we've seen when they introduce I could make it a squirrel girl, yeah. This energy feels more squirrel girly, like playfully, like jumping. But no, so we've seen in Rivals and in a lot of games, right? They add a new character, and if it's a thickums, right? If it's got that thick booty, it's got some sort of sex appeal to the character, right? Boom, everybody's playing that character. Doesn't matter. Like Sue Storm, right? She was a strategist. Nobody was playing strategists. And then suddenly everybody and their brother was like, I'm Sue Storm. Look at this thick butt. Like everybody. So as someone who plays tanks, or vanguards in the game, right? They I usually don't have to compete. Like when I'm playing ranked, there's usually not too many people saying like I got to play tank, right? And I like playing tank, which works great for me in ranked because I can usually get the role I want. Like I've got like more time as Doctor Strange in ranked than like anything. But I do Doctor Strange. Yeah, I mean, Psylocke, I don't know. The more I play ranked, I see Psylocke almost every match. She's pretty consistent, either on my team or the enemy team. Um, it's just she's got a more distinct playstyle. So like if you're playing Psylocke front lines, you shouldn't even be playing Psylocke. Like people sometimes I've seen in lower ranks will play Psylocke or in quick play where they'll like, or quick match, where they're like poking, they're shooting. Psylocke doesn't shoot. Like her shot does less damage than any of the DPS. Her point is to get in, get out, backline it, dive in, dive out. And I feel like that's not until higher ranks that gets like regular. Because I've seen when I watch high rank gameplay too, usually she's more common. But no, my problem is I want Rogue, right? Give me some more X-Men. Give me Rogue. 100% cool with that. My worry is that I want Rogue to be a tank, right? Rogue is a tank. If anybody doesn't, like, people who maybe don't know X-Men enough might not realize that Rogue's a tank. She's an effing powerhouse, right? Even in the new 97, what was it? She held, was it Hulk? Right? Yeah, she fought the Hulk or whatever. And it's like, yeah, she can hold her own. Like, she is a beast. And so I worry that they'll make her a tank and suddenly everybody wants to play as her, though. Like, I could totally see that being a problem. And Penny's just a giant robot, really. Like, she's female, yes, but she doesn't, like, outwardly look. She's gender neutral, really, when you look at her on the field, yeah. So, and she's still just like a big, beefy robot. But yeah, no, I'm sure we're going to get more female tanks. But my worry is when we do, then suddenly people are going to play tank and they don't know how. Because tank is a very distinct role that kind of guides the flow of the combat in a hero shooter. So if you're playing tank and you're not applying pressure, your job as tank is to, usually 9 times out of 10, you are supposed, if you're being primary tank or like solo tanking, especially, like, your job is to take space, right? And so a lot of people I've played online where that's why I like playing now myself, they don't take space. When you are a tank, you are making the plays, you're pushing forward, you're being aggressive, but you're also constantly being aware of your backline and where you need to guard stuff and how you need to pop, your specials to make sure everybody stays alive. And then you're focusing the other tanks too. Like, there's a lot of different gameplay when you're playing a tank. And so my worry is that all of a sudden we're going to get, yeah, it's weird though. See, so that's the problem. If you're playing solo tank, Penny is not a good solo tank because then you're not able to hold any space, right? Like, you can defend a point, but I feel like Penny shines when you have 2 tanks. But if you only have 1 tank, I don't know. Penny's a rough one because then nobody is taking space. You're just constantly on the back. Like, so if you're always on the back foot, I feel like everybody else has the advantage. And so having Penny and Magneto or Penny and Strange works because you got like the traditional tank. But if you're the solo tank, yeah, Strange and Penny is good. But if you're not doing that, solo Penny kind of sucks. Like, I've done it a handful of times and you have to play offensively then and be taking and holding that ground. Otherwise, your team just gets pooped on. But either way, Rogue as a tank will be amazing. I will love it 1000%. But I also would be worried that, like, all of a sudden everybody's like, I can play tank now too. And you're like, no, I love the idea of more people playing tank. That's cool. But it's more so like the Sue Storm problem where people who didn't play support all of a sudden were playing support and they didn't bother to learn how to play support. They just wanted to play as the character. So it's always a fine line. I don't mind in quick play, but when you're in ranked and you run into that, that's a whole other story. But usually you're not getting too many people trying out new characters the higher you get, which is why I want to get higher ranked. But that takes a long time. I feel like the second you lose like 2 games, you drop and you're like, well, now I need to win a handful more. And it's like very streak heavy, the ranking system. So you got to like be so consistent. And if I only have, we've only got so much time in a day. That is lucky that you still won. So we played a game. When I say we, I'm solo queuing ranked, obviously. We as in me and the rest of my team. We had a Black Panther who did literally nothing. Like, quite literally nothing. And the game was like neck and neck the whole time. And it was super tight match. Like, we seemed so evenly matched. But then we had this Black Panther. So like we were all playing really well, and then Black Panther just existed, right? He clearly didn't know how to play Black Panther. He wasn't being aggressive enough. He wasn't pushing and like really stalking and getting in and out like he should be. But I was like, darn. Like we 100%, we like almost tied it. Like it was basically a tie. It went into overtime and we just barely lost. But then you looked and like Black Panther just kind of stood there the whole time. And I was like, man, I'm not one to complain. I didn't say anything, but in my head I was like, oof. That stinks that our Black Panther kind of dropped the ball. Literally next match, cue in, next match, there's a Black Panther on the other team that just crapped on our guys over and over and over and over again. I was like, are you kidding me? The irony of this, the punishment in my mind of we had a Black Panther that didn't know his butt from a hole in the ground. And then the next match, we have a Black Panther that just like absolutely annihilated. Oopsie. Why? So I've lost the ability to like moderate for some reason. So like normally I could like, so like that person is spammy, right? Obviously 1000% spam. But I don't like it. Before Twitch gave me the ability to like moderate from there. So I wonder, I got a new, let me see, hold on. Okay, weird. So because I'm dual streaming, right? I've got YouTube and Twitch. Nobody uses the YouTube chat. No one's watching live on YouTube, but I get it recorded then, right? So it stays there, which is the whole point, really. I just want to make sure I've got it, logged and I have stuff because Twitch deletes stuff after, X amount of time. But I have like a separate thing for stream chat that's got like multiple then. So technically if someone jumps into YouTube live, I've got that chat here too. But because I'm doing it that way, there's 2 different chats. So it uses a third-party system to do it. And apparently the third-party system is just view only, it looks like, based off of what I'm looking at. So I have to open up my actual chat, and then my actual chat I can ban and do, moderation things. But in this like other one, yeah, so it's like an extra step now, which is lame, but at least I understand what to do now. Because before it happened too, I was like, I don't know how to fix this. I just got spam on me now, whatever. Toes. Excuse me. But yeah, that was a bummer with that Black Panther. And it really sucked too, because we actually had a Penny and a Namor. Okay, Penny and Namor are like the best counters for dive characters. Like some of the best. Because Penny, obviously, if you set up your webs and mines in a smart way, they don't want to push, right? They can't, because the second they go backline, they lose the physicality of where they can go when you have Penny blocking off areas, you know, in a good way. And then Namor, so I play Namor the most of all of the DPS now. It's basically Namor, and then every once in a while I'll do Bucky, but I'm way more confident in my Namor, whatever. I always called him Namor. But what he can do is he can throw down the squids, right? You throw down your little, what are they called? Monstro spawns is what they're called in the game. You throw down your Monstro spawns, and all you need to do is use your right click, which is your alternate fire, and it splashes. And if you splash an enemy, your turrets, the Monstro spawns, crank to 11 and shoot super fast, like laser accuracy on that target. So you can easily save your back line like that. Like, it is such, like, as someone who plays Namor, I've done it countless times. Like, it is a hard counter to a Black Panther. No, literally, it's the splash. I've got, like, I think 13 hours on Namor or something like that. Maybe not 13, at least 10. It's literally just you throw it in the air and then you slam it down. You throw it down. Doesn't have to be. See, that's where I get so annoyed. I don't understand why Marvel Rivals in-game tooltips and abilities they're not accurate, like, compared to what is said online. So let's look at it real quick. I'm curious now, because there's more information on the actual website than there is on the game. Am I blind? Do I have to, like, literally tab over between characters? You can't just... Seriously? Heroes. Really? Seems unintuitive. How the... Where... Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to tab over. What did I say? Namor, so it'll probably go backwards to get to end quicker. That is really dumb. There's got to be somewhere that you can look at a whole list. Mackenzie is his last name. That sounds like a rich white girl energy. I'm Namor Mackenzie. I don't know why that's his last name. Is that really? I never knew that. Yeah, that's super white. King Namor Mackenzie. Yeah, that is like, okay, whatever. I mean, he is like, I mean, he's pretty white. So that's funny. Yeah, here. Launch the trident. So this is right click. So it's alternate fire. Launch the trident forward. Can we see? Oh, hold on. Here we go. Launch the trident forward to damage nearby enemies. Then direct all Monstro spawn to perform an enhanced attack on the nearest enemy hit. When the trident hits an enemy, Monstro spawn to enter a berserk state, gaining increased attack speed. So, like, all you need to do is, so yes, the splash is when they'll target it, but then if you hit the person with it, they shoot even faster, I think is what it is. But either way, like, they all target with an enhanced attack when you hit it. Yeah, and it says it's an arced projectile that generates a spell field upon impact, meaning there's like an AoE hit. And so spell field damage fall off, but the spell field range is 3 meter spherical. It's like, you don't have to be like hella close, is my thing. Like, you throw down your Monstro spawns and then you just yeet your right click, and the right click's got a pretty quick cooldown. Does it 6 seconds? 6-second cooldown is not that long. Weird, it does. Critical hits cause monsters. Yeah, that is definitely not the case. And like I said, even here, it just needs to hit the enemy. I'm telling you that there's been the biggest discrepancy now between that, where like there, and you can even see here, there's way more information. Like it tells you what type of casting is. It's a cylindrical spell field. It's 30 meters. It tells you the exact drop off, the exact inner damage, outer damage, immobilization duration. You know, like, yeah, for your right click, shoot the ground. Just try to hit their feet with right click. That's all you need to do. And yes, he has critical hits, which is great for his normal hit, but don't even like that other one. Just imagine it's like a little grenade. Yeah, 100% check the online. Like if you're genuinely learning a character rather than just kind of effing around or whatever, it really helps to look at these. And it even shows here, like, where was the aquatic dominion? So even here it tells you, like by default, it tells you the information, but then it even says here, like enhanced, it shows 5 rounds per second, whereas the default is 2 rounds per second, you know, where it does less damage per hit. So it goes to 11 damage instead of 17 per hit, but it's way more shots fired, you know? So it is just one of those things where I don't understand, like, is it that hard to keep this information? Yeah, they gain in. Okay, so you were reading it wrong then. Yeah, so the primary, yeah, if you hit a crit with it, then that's helpful for the spawn. But I'm talking about like in terms of the backlining, like in terms of like dealing with a dive character like that. You literally just, if you see a Black Panther's on the prowl or you know they're about to jump in, you throw your two little squiddies, and then as soon as he makes an appearance, you right click at his feet, either right before or right after, usually right after he does his dive, because it's easy to just, he usually is stationary for at least a moment, and they do the work. That's all you need. Like, I've gotten so many backline kills with that, because all you need to do is like quick turnaround, understand what you're keeping an eye out for, and then boom. Which Namor, if you do play Namor, there is the let me pull it up. I know there's the thing with like the crosshairs or whatever. So you can only have 5 crosshairs, which is absolutely stupid. I really hope they fix that in an upcoming update. So right now you can only have 5 custom crosshairs at all with Marvel Rivals, which is beyond stupid. That doesn't make sense. It's like a hex value. Like all it is that basic value that's stored. That should not be a problem. However, you only have 5, so you're gonna have to pick. But since I have one for Doctor Strange, I have one for Namor, I have one for Bucky. And I can't remember who else I have a custom one for. I didn't pick Mantis. I didn't pick Rocket. I don't remember who I made one more custom one for. But either way, his one is actually really good because I use it all the time. How do I get to... Let me go to my playlist real quick. I think I've saved it as a video because it's very important. Very Marvel Rivals important because that... Okay, yeah, here we go. You can customize 1 by 1 until you hit 5. That's what happened to me, at least. And once you hit 5, it'll still cap it, which is really, really annoying. Because it doesn't let me make more, and I handmade all of them. So, I don't know. Yeah. There's a weird way that you can, like, adjust the file setting, like, going into the actual files of the game, change it to read-only, adjust the stuff. But you have to, like, keep doing that, and then if there's an update, it might change it. And so it's like, no, I don't mess with that. It's too much. But so his is really cool because normally, like, you get body shots all the time because you have to aim because it's got that heavy drop off, right? But go to the actual play. So like you can aim usually at the head when you're up close, right? And it's pretty consistent because you're close. But with Namor, you're usually not that close. I don't want to be that close with Namor, right? But the further back you get then, the general rule is with this crosshair, you move that bottom line. I took off the black outline because it looks ugly. Just I think I took that off of mine. But I extended the line so it still fits the idea. But all he does then is he moves it up then. So the idea is you just look up. So the line touches the head. And then if it touches the head, you're going to get crits then. Pretty consistently. Not always, but like it's a good rule of thumb that like within like the average range from their close range, you just aim for the head directly. But anything from far, you adjust where it's like if you're mid far, you aim at like the top part of the line. And if you're really far back, you aim at the bottom part of the line. And it really, really helps. Like I absolutely love that. I use that all the time now. Like that is a very helpful thing. Same with like, Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange his is like a little shotgun blast. And so I can always tell where it's going to hit, which is super helpful. But then to me, one of the best ones is Winter Soldiers, is because it's his grab. His grab, look at this. If it's so long as it's in this circle that he made, it'll still catch. So you don't have to be pinpoint accurate. You can, when you flick, you can still kind of catch them within, that range, so long as you're in the distance that it can actually shoot, right? And so that one saved me multiple times too, where like, I know I can release the grab the second I spin and it's within the range. So there's quite a few that like I thought were kind of bunk. And then as I've used them, I was like, damn, that is great. And some of them like, you don't really need, like he's made some custom ones where you're like, that doesn't, you just have Moon Knights. I don't remember what Moon Knight was his for. It's more time consuming than I'd like it to be, yeah. And it's weirdly not a good, like, it gives you a lot of customization, yes, but it's also not, it's almost kind of like the fact that there's like plus signs and different things you need to like click on to like do drop downs and do all of that. It gets just like needlessly messy. So I agree, it's not a fun process. That said, in my mind, it's very worth it, at least for my 2 DPS. Like, the 2 DPS were great, and then Doctor Strange. It is nice knowing kind of where my shotgun blast will go, because it's the same idea as Bucky, where it's like, if so long as I know I can kind of clip him a little, it'll still do something. And obviously, you need to learn your character's like ranges and stuff like that, but which there's this one, like for Thor. You're good. I get distracted all the time. Like for Thor, I get it that like it helps you realize that that's like the angle of those shots. And I might probably, if I were to get another spot to assign it, I would probably make it this one. But like playing Thor, I feel like this is true. It is accurate to the way your hits will hit the character. But it doesn't seem like as helpful. You know what I mean? But again, the fact that you can only have 5 means I don't really care as much. If they're not, if they don't like help in like the immediacy. Like, same with Mantis. Like Mantis's is like, that would be cool, but I don't care enough. This one was good too. I liked this one. This was an interesting one because since Cloak and Dagger, it like auto targets, that it helps, that it at least shows you the range you need to be in so that it'll pick that auto target instead of the other one. I really like that one. If I played Cloak and Dagger a lot, I would probably pick that too, because that's super helpful. But yeah, distracted, that's fine. We learned that Namor has a very white girl energy name. it was a net positive. We learned. Good old Namor Mackenzie. It's fine. Yeah, I don't think today I'm going to get to the Monster Hunter aspect of this drawing of any of these things. I've just been noodling around with other ones, and that's fine. I'm glad I'm just getting stuff done. And it is, I even though I don't end with stuff, sometimes I do appreciate at least like, I don't know, I like watching the thought process myself when I watch other people, so seeing me fail and like get other attempts is still in my mind something. But yes, I should probably come in with more sketches. Oh, there's the pose I was referencing. Do we see this one? This one. I pulled up a pose like this. I changed it a little bit. But I was trying to look for a pose that I just wanted something basic. But I forgot to even switch back to the iPad itself. Oopsies. So I was drawing more, sorry. But as you saw from that, like I always take like a pose if I can. I'll take a picture of something, look at something. And I just got a massive library of that kind of stuff. And then I don't always do them. I don't always use them. I don't always use them exactly. I usually will like take an idea from it. This one I was getting pretty lazy though. And I just kind of straight up was drawing a little tweak to it, but like more or less the same energy that I want. And then we'll adjust it. So this leg is way too big and curved. Oops. Pretty big. Yeah, I was talking about weekend stuff earlier, and it's funny that like I'm just chilling, but we've got one good friend now going to MegaCon this weekend. And so it's neat to be like, well, I'm just chilling, but I'm going to get to see a lot of pictures of cool toys and different comic book things and all these things. I'll live vicariously through them this weekend and see all these cool things that I'm too broke to buy. You made fun of me for calling out names last time, so I've gotten better at being more just normal. Okay. I do like this pose now that I've got it working a little better. Oh, he's all right. He's all right. He's just good. All right. I'm gonna make the sword even longer, because again, the longer the sword, the cooler the sword. That's the rule. Everybody knows that. It's science. So there's like a weird tangent normally I'd get rid of here, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be drawing like the headdress and other pieces. So it's not like her skull is going to be there necessarily anyway. So I don't have to worry about where those lines intersect right now. What is this? Got like a hook in, goes up. Boop. Yeah, not gonna lie, I will probably squeeze in like an hour or so, maybe if I can, at least even a half hour of rivals today between like after stream, after lunch. I'll probably stream a little more to like 1:30 and then have lunch, do a couple things around the house, and then probably squeeze in a game or two of ranked. I'm addicted. Too good. And I've been learning Thor. I've only done like 2 games of ranked with Thor, but it went well. It was fun. Again, easier for me if I'm an off tank, so I can't be like the only tank and play Thor right now. I'm not comfortable enough with that, and I feel like that's map dependent on when that actually works for him. But yeah, definitely a weird playstyle getting used to Thor, like having to swing in and swing out real quick and be constantly aware of your cooldowns, because those are like everything you have to be aware of cooldowns, obviously, but the fact that you need to get in, get out, and your cooldowns actually, like, that's how he heals, is when he does abilities, certain abilities, he gets overshield when doing abilities. So it's like timing the abilities, knowing when you've got the cooldown. You have to earn the Thor Force to even be able to use the ability each time. So you've got to charge it through. You know, there's just a lot more happening in your head that you've got to keep track of. And so doing that as a solo tank too, that's a lot. A lot I can't do right now. It's like too many things to keep track of right now. Whereas like if I'm an off tank and we have like a Strange or a Magneto or a Groot, then it's like, okay, I can be the secondary tank, but being the primary is too many things for my brain to hold like as information for right now. Yeah, if you get caught with your pants down without understanding his cooldowns, you are effed. And then like using his Rune of Awakening where it uses all 3 Thor Force. Like you think like, yeah, I'm going to go berserker mode and it's cool. I can shoot like 10 of these lightning blasts and do all that. But that uses all 3 of your Thor Force, which means anybody that I've learned now then, if I'm fighting a Thor and I see him hit that awakened state, right, where he's like throwing lightning, you push him. Like it's almost the opposite. Like you think he's in like uber powered state, but the reality is he just used all of his stuff. And the second you push him, then he can't do his fly out because he doesn't have any Thor Force to do that. So it's a weird thing of like, the more you learn the character too, the more you understand what to do against him because you know your own weakness then when you're playing him. And then you learn like, oh, well, if I get scared when this happens to me, now I know what to do for them because they're probably also scared and in a shitty spot that, you know, they're not going to be able to counter as much as they'd like. Yeah, gotta learn the weaknesses. But yeah, sometimes it helps to learn the weaknesses the hard way because that's just kind of how our brains work. But yeah, he's fun. He's really fun to use. I just need to use him a little bit more. But yeah, this season it's been Doctor Strange, Namor, Mantis, and honestly, like I said, Rocket is like if you are not feeling it and you just want to make sure your team lives, go Rocket. He is so brain dead easy to use in a sense that like, yes, you need to be moving. You need to be understand. If you can master his movement mobilities, that's what makes you a better Rocket than other people. But like, so long as you're throwing down your little revive station and putting it in smart spots, and you're constantly being aware when you can throw it down again to get that quick revive, you go into high ground, you go into little corners, and you just keep bubbling the hell. You just keep spamming. You don't even need to shoot ever. You just shoot those damn bubbles towards your team and keep healing them. That's all you got to do. And then run away the second someone gets close, and then do it again. And then in very few instances, I found that his minigun does do really good damage, but you need to be like, it needs to be touching them. Like if you are like on top of them and you can melt tanks pretty well if they're already damaged, if you're helping in a fight, right? You can't be the one to start that fight. But if you want to quickly, if your team has like, if you've got 2 people and they've got full health or something, you can pop your turret or your minigun and do some work to help out that way. But like really all you need to do, just keep bopping your little alt fire for heals. And then people complain that like, oh, Rocket doesn't have like a traditional healer ultimate. Okay, but you do double damage like with his ultimate. Do you know how much extra damage really impacts it? Like it does it with super, it affects ultimates, it affects all these things. So like everything is damage boosted. Everything you do. So like, yes, healing is cool, keeping people alive, But what if everyone's dead? You don't need to worry about keeping your team alive. Like, so having like, yeah, having like a Luna or a Mantis or a Cloak and Dagger to an extent too, like those help to balance Rocket. Like Rocket being a solo healer would be weird. But I don't know, man. Like when I play with him and I barely even like you can almost turn off your brain and just be like, hey, I'm gonna be in pure like fight or flight mode the whole time where I'm just like always choosing flight and just evade everything and just hold that dunk dunk dunk. Well, that's what I said. So long as you're aware of that cooldown, so I said in the beginning, yeah. So if you just keep his cooldown, like so the second you see it used and you know where to put it, like so long as you know to put it in a good spot and you're not being dumb about it, that can change the tide because it's a 7v6, right? Because the first person that goes down is already back. And like that is huge. And especially because people don't expect it a lot of times. So if sometimes people will push, they'll get aggressive because they know they got that pick. They're like, oh, so-and-so's down. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, they're already back, right? And it's because Rocket got them back. So yeah, Rocket is definitely, I feel like I've had games where it's like, man, I'm just going to go, I'm going to go the triple support. If our tank's doing well, and like if I'm dual tanking and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get off tank. I'm just going to make sure you stay alive, man. And I just pocket heal him as Rocket and it's easy peasy. I think it needs to be a certain distance. That's actually a great question. Let's just Google that because I'm curious what it says. If it does need to, Marvel Rivals does need to be a specific distance for the revive to work. I actually am not sure. I was kind of curious that too, and I forgot to look it up a couple days ago. I had that same question. Rocket Raccoon. Minerals abilities that will revive only one. Okay, so yeah, you already pulled it up. You're quicker than me. 50-meter distance then. 50-meter radius while it's active. So yeah, I mean, it's 50 meters is not like massive, but like if you look at the shooting range or whatever in the game, 50 meters is still a good amount of space. So yeah, so long as you're kind of like reassessing each time, that's what I was saying. Like so long as you know to like move it with you, and if you cancel it before it's destroyed, it's like Penny's mines. If you cancel it, you don't have as long of a cooldown, right? So if it's a long cooldown, but if you just cancel it while it's still alive, you can actually just put it back. I think it's like 5 seconds on cancel or something. I mean, one thing people forget though, so it does suck that you don't have a circle like Groot or something like that where you can kind of see around you. But don't forget you can ping things, right? You can tag it. So you can kind of like get a better grasp of like how far something is when you're moving. And then the more you do that, so like I've done that a lot, is I'll just ping a lot. So my brain kind of understands what distances are, right? So like, okay, on Shin Shibuya, if I'm on this building and I ping over here, okay, that is not to be confused with spraying. No, yes. Tagging versus tagging with spray. Pinging the location does help though. It really does. Cause like, yes, you don't need, it's one of those things where you do it enough in the beginning and you learn how it works, right? You don't need to keep doing it necessarily, but when you do it a handful of times in the beginning, your brain, I mean, should kind of, remember a little bit of like, okay, this is 50, this is 20, right? This is 30, like a general gauge of how far things are. Yeah, when you tag stuff, it's just like in Fortnite and stuff where it has like the little distance on it. So definitely comes in handy when just trying to learn how far things are to get a better grasp. So I'm moving the hand here. They looked like they're on top of each other. So I'm gonna stretch it because the sword here has like there's like space between the handles. So it doesn't even make sense that like I was having her hold it like a traditional like two-handed sword, So that doesn't really work here because that's not how the sword is shaped. There's like a gap in between from the first handle to the second. Boop. The wrist needed to be rotated then. It was funny. I was super excited for the new DLC for Street Fighter to come out and stuff. But ever since Marvel Rivals came out, poor Street Fighter for me has just, I don't got time for it. I'll watch stuff, you know, I'll listen to stuff, I'll watch stuff. I'm still in the know with Street Fighter, right? But I have not actually played Street Fighter now in quite some time. Marvel Rivals, and then now doing this kind of stuff has very much has dethroned Street Fighter, to say the least. Oh well. I don't know why that just popped in my head. Yeah, everything took a backseat for this. Like, I just, when I've got time, I'm like, nah, I'd rather play Marvel Rivals. Like, if I've got any other time for stuff, I'm like, nah, I'll hop into comp. I'm gonna get to Grandmaster. I need to crank it. Like, oh, it's my fat kid time. Quit Call of Duty mainly because Black Ops 6 is crap compared to Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, you know me. I can't do Call of Duty anymore. They're all crap to me. They're all crap. Graphically, you hate the Black Ops 6 look. I feel like Marvel has spoiled me now where like everything, I'm like, man, doesn't look as gorgeous as Marvel though. That game is so gorgeous. So good. Obviously different art style than Black Ops, but just the idea. It's visually very, very fun to look at. Okay, so what is this armor? Armor's kind of, so it's like booby wraps and like thick belt. So I'm just gonna like block in a shape kind of and detail it later, but just kind of get the weight of it, right? Should feel heavy. These pants are weird. I honestly don't know how these pants are supposed to be structured in this angle. The fact that they've got like that, like, not parachute pants, but like the, almost they look like the old pirate pants, how they like poof out at the top there. I don't know. Would you poof it over here then maybe? Poofing it here and then cutting in would look better. And then see the thigh. Because there is like the gap. I think that looks better. There's like the knee pad here. And the legs are just kind of wrapped up. So I'll keep it tight. Like I'll keep it like it's not even really much of a different shape. Knee pad. It's got like these little teeth too, but I don't think they're sticking out. So I don't know if you'd really see them. But it looks kind of cool if you give it like a little bit of break to the silhouette. So it almost looks like, that feels like Batman. Like that looks like his gauntlet almost. Like, you know, like the, like under his forearm kind of. If I do it like that. Everybody likes Batman, right? That design has been around for forever because it looks cool, so. Yeah, that looks neat. And then, like I said, her crotch. Again, doesn't really make sense why the crotch and the butt are just like, just barely exposed. I would love to wear an outfit like this to understand like, oh my gosh, I've got so much mobility. Thank goodness my crotch is exposed. Like, is there something to it that I'm missing? I feel like the answer is it's for hornbally looks, but you know. I like to think maybe there's a function to it. Probably not. Probably not. There's like the groin. And if we do that same idea, then the pant goes like that, right? Probably. Something like that. Because if you can still see the butt on the other side, I'd imagine it just cuts in and then up. Something like that. No, not necessarily a piece of clothing like that you see every day to have mental. I'm saying like, but this is a common look. Like the crotchless energy here. Like, this isn't just the character's origins. This is something. That looks weird that I darkened her underwear so dark then. That looks like I don't know what that is. Whatever, just to show that it's not like vagina sticking out. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. It's crotchless. Do you see like the legs, it cuts open here and then by the butt. So like technically now looking at it, this cut goes even deeper, really. This cut goes all the way down to the inner leg there. So this is even further now that I'm looking at the design, that like it literally just kind of like cuts in. So it's like whole thigh is visible and then butt. So I don't know. I'll need to readjust this, I guess. So it comes probably like that. And we'll wrap around like the overall shape of the leg, right? So we'll follow where the leg would be. The leg would be curving like that. So it's curve. This opening a little bit. The framing of it. And then again, we just draw little X's because that's what's there, and that's fine. Gives detail. It's bikini undies, but I'm saying like the pants are crotchless. Like they're like, there's no crotch. The pants themselves are weird. I don't understand how that. Less material to have to deal with when you're running and jumping. But like male ninjas don't have that, is my thing. So like what is it that like female ninjas, very different, like they need to show that though. Like their thighs are just so powerful compared to the male. Why does the dude not have his crotch exposed? He's immune to being sweaty. If anything, as a male, I'm well aware of the amount of heat a certain crotchal region can accrue over time in a hot biome. Why is this looking weird? I'm not even reading that out loud. That is oh, censored for inappropriosity. Uh, what was it? Was it Of Love and Monsters? Was that one movie? I don't know why that reminded me. That was such a good movie. Like, such a good movie. Why was that so good? It was one that like I did not expect to be like, wow, I'm like, I want more of this. I want more of this world. I want more of all of this. I know it's been like that. I just like to think that maybe there's some reason behind it. Like I said, someone needs to send me a pair of these pants. I'll try them out. I'll be the judge. Am I more agile? Do I feel more confident in my movement when my crotch is unencumbered by the trappings of cloth and material? Do away with it. Let my not a, hey man, I'll wear like the underwear like this one. I go to the gym wearing one of these, then I'd be like, what the heck? I'd rock it. I'd rock it. Whatever happened to music? I just realized there's no music playing. It died. I'd go viral for a very different reason than I would like if I could go viral possibly. I don't know, I haven't been working my legs as much. They don't look too good. They don't look as beefy as they should. So probably wouldn't go viral. They'd be like, this guy needs to hit it harder. My quads are not up to snuff. So this curve looks weird because I actually did it the wrong way. If you think about it, this is like folding over this way. So it'll go curve that like that. So that's why it looked weird. It was the wrong curve. I don't really know how this terminates either. It just like becomes the wrap kind of, right? Like a extra piece here, it looks like under the knee pad first. Like that. And then it becomes the wrap with the little teeth. There's a bow on the crotch too, isn't there? I'll need to. Oh, and there's like, what are these little? Oh, I thought these were like horns. That's just the knee pad sticking out. My bad. Very, very intricate designs with just X's. They're just X's on them. Okay, cool. That's easy enough to replicate. That's fine by me. X. X gonna give it to you. I feel like I should play up that shape of that bend again, that break a little stronger, like that fold. So like not necessarily doing exactly how the thigh would look, but maybe kind of pushing it just so it balances that lower bend like this guy. So it makes more sense. I don't really understand the pattern on the legs. They're like scales and feathers. I'm not really sure what this pattern is. It's like something like this, right? I don't know. I'm just kind of blocking it in. I think that would be more curved actually too. It would be like this, right? Probably. Can we just warp it? Our good old friend, the warp tool. That looks stupid, but whatever. We're just blocking in basic shapes for it. It is fine. Fine, fine, fine. Yeah, it is. The drawing itself is really black, so it's hard to even tell. Yeah, even in person. I've got the book here and it's just very saturated, that space. So it looks like just something like this where it's like this cross, like interlocking woven pattern kind of. Oops, that doesn't make sense. I don't know if I had it up when you joined, Lincoln, but there was a somebody else noted earlier what the armor's from. And it is a very cool, it's like a bat almost. Yeah, it's like animal skin, but here, where's the this? It's based off of this creature here. He's like the armor's from this. It's like a weird bat dragon. It reminds me for some reason of one of the Transformers. There was a when they did the Fusors. I don't know why this reminds me of one of the Fusors. Where it's like the two animals hybrided. But there was like the most adorable thing. Here we go. That's adorable. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? 10 out of 10. Super, super cute. But yeah, even on that, right? Yeah, adorable. But even on that, like it doesn't really show what the like, because it just looks like a weird, like almost rocky, excuse me, like a rocky leathery texture on the creature. So I don't know what even that would be translated as, but whatever. It looks good enough for now. Just something to have on there, just so it looks like it's, you know, a pattern of sorts. Yeah, good enough. And I am sneezy. I woke up, or 2 nights ago, I was like, we're like, you need to get that tickle in your throat. And you're like, I hope that's nothing. And then you just kind of dismiss it. But then yesterday I woke up and I was like, ugh, I kind of feel like garbage. And so I've been like playing it, taking it safe. I didn't go to the gym last night. I worked out at home then and did just stuff like that. But I'm like, I woke up today then like extra sneezy and gross, feeling like you better not be getting sick, you stupid body. not today, not now, not ever. But with my garbage immune system, unfortunately, it's pretty common. Pretty common. The leg was looking weird how flat it was. So I just wanted to give it some sort of slight S curve to it for now. Because the cloth is super flat. So I don't want like her body to feel as flat then. I know, I just assume at this point, like I've got like all my little like not quite emergency, but like those kind of tablets. And I'm like, well, I'll just pop one. Hope I'm good. We'll see. The weather doesn't help either. Like yesterday was like unbelievably ice everywhere and it was like frozen roads and all this crap. But then that means the day before then, I was actually at the hospital with my grandma for one of her CT scans with stuff going on. So then I had a mask on the whole time and it was like hot and stuffy and gross. And then it was a day where it was like icy as all heck when we came home. So then I came home and I had the heat cranking. So like, you know, when you're like, you've got like all that different crap happening in your, like that you're breathing in, you're doing all that. Like, I feel like it just messes with it even more then. So the armor kind of goes right up to the foot, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Do you know the toll 3 vasectomies take on a man? Oh, Michael Scott. So now looking at the way this armor is, it almost looks weird. Okay, so the back is actually separated with those. So like if the back here is like straight normal, okay, weird. So like it's like just like parallel, like actual back of like armored pant, and then it like breaks in the middle where those teeth are, and that's when it becomes that other texture. Interesting. So we can like, we don't have to super lean into it, but we can still showcase that a little. Then at the bottom, it almost looks scaly. That's weird because it's a bat, but it's a dragon. So it's got like, I don't know, man. Whatever. It's fantasy armor. It doesn't need to look perfect. As if this has to make perfect sense right now. I think we're good. I think you suspend disbelief to an extent with this kind of stuff. My posture today is terrible. I keep like laying down in my chair. That is, my collarbone's gonna like lock up and I'll be dead. I'll be dead. Okay, so that's kind of the foot. Same thing up here then, right? So it would like ankle out, and we'll see like the scale part continue here. And then, oh, the scales actually go, never mind. This goes even lower. It goes right up to the toe. And it looks like she has a shoe on, but it's like the, with a sock maybe? I actually don't know. It looks like the samurai little like toozy toesy thingy. Toozy toesy thingy. That's the culturally accurate term. That sounds terrible. The toozy toesy thing, you know? It looks fine. Her foot actually looks kind of big, doesn't it? Let's scrunch it. Just a little. That looks better. I like it more. I just drew that little arrow. I do that a lot, and I sometimes forget to erase things. I've just got like little things where I like point out when talking. I draw arrows more often than I realized. So I think this looks weird because technically the crotch is here. So like these lines would be emanating more like this, but not so heavy. It's like that's the insertion of where like that stretch would happen, not lower. And so this curve is a little too much. Need to soften that even more. That makes more sense in my mind now. We still have like that thigh cutting in. Okay. Her armor's making sense. I think it's looking cool. It's getting late though, so I'm probably gonna call it soon. I'm getting hungry, getting that like headachy hungry. And then if I'm like possibly fighting off being sick, I probably should not push it too much where I don't eat enough. But so let's get these little teeth in, right? So the teeth, I just did 3 for the other one, so let's do 3 for this too then. Even though there's 4. I feel like 4 becomes messy with how I'm drawing it. Yeah, I had mentioned before this little tab thing. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, have a good weekend. I'll catch you next stream probably. Thanks for stopping by. Later. But yeah, I'm just finishing. Let's finish up the legs and then I'll probably call it because yeah, it's 1:45 and I was supposed to be done at 1:30. Distractions, and I always go late. I thought I wouldn't go late today. Mainly because in my head I wanted to play Rivals with any excess time I had because I'm a selfish idiot and I just want to play games when I can. But looks like we're drawing more and that's cool. I'm okay with that. Especially when we're drawing and like everything's turning out solid, right? Her body looks cool. The other poses we came up with are pretty fun still. Not bad. But yeah, let's kind of think of how this waist is right now, and then we'll call it. So like she's got, is it 3, 4 pieces? You always try and see 1, 2. So little front, side, and then back, right? So it's the little front would be like here-ish, right? There-ish, and we would maybe see it on this, but then we wouldn't see any more maybe. We'd see maybe a little bit. And then mid, whatever this mid piece is here. And then we would see kind of in the back something. Maybe? Actually, like we would see the back, but just a little. And then all of this comes together in like a wrap in the middle, right by the top of her waist, right? So we'll just kind of block. Like I said, let's just get the waist blocked in before I piece out, just so it has like a little bit more of a look to it. Is that too? That's way too long, I feel like. It's hard when you're working with like cloth that just goes through the crotch like that, because as hard as you may, it sometimes just looks like a weird phallic shape hanging, right? And so you need to be careful to like accentuate the pieces that are around it without being weird. Yeah, I'm not liking the crotch, my crotch cloth, if you will. Don't know why. Sometimes it helps if I just draw it on another layer and then I can like see it a little better and understand. So I don't like having this back piece visible just because it kind of throws off this silhouette here. So I don't know how to solve it. I wonder if we just kind of fake it and say it's like that, and then we still get this strong silhouette cut here at the hip or at the waist. I think that'll work. Just block in. I said we're done, but I lied. So get like under boob and then kind of the ribs here. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I think it looks right, I think. That under boobie here looks weird. I wonder if I just let it be kind of thing, and then when we color it, it just, you can tell what it is by the negative space. I don't need to put any informational lines there. It just kind of is, right? Yeah, I think that'll sell it fine without needing more than that. Okay, so she's got other stuff going on, but we don't have time. We've run out of time, and that is A-okay. It's almost 2 o'clock. Yeah, holy cow. I am so hungry. My head hurts. We're going to, ooh, for the thumbnail, how do we do this then? What do we do? Something like that, maybe? So you get all the poses in, and you get like kind of the armor going for her. Is this a good thumbnail, everybody? Can we see it? Thumbnail, right? Boobies, but Battlestar Galactica. Right? I think that's the quote. I don't know. All right, today was a hodgepodge of a day. We got a couple poses in though. We played with some cool ideas. Ended up with a pretty generic, not generic, but like low key, kind of nothing extreme for this, armor pose that we want to work with. Again, had a couple fun ones too that we played with that I think I can adopt the energy for other things later. So then I don't have to reinvent the wheel next time I do some of these drawings, right? Because I feel like sometimes it takes too long getting the energy down. And if I have the energy down, I can kind of, roll with it a little easier, right? So it is unbelievably late. It is 2 p.m. here in good old Chicago. Oh, thank you for the follow. I'm not getting notifications properly, but thanks for sticking around. But yeah, so this week was a little off. I had some stuff with my grandmother on Wednesday that we had to help out, that I wanted to help out with some medical stuff. So I didn't get to stream Wednesday. We're not doing games right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm gonna reassess how I'm gonna handle those timelines. But for now, still Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? 10:30, 1:30, or apparently later than 1:30 if you're like me and you just go over the time. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we will keep looking at some cool art, have some fun stuff to look at. I might work on this guy more this weekend and have some fun with her, see what I can make up. But yeah, hope you guys all have a fun weekend ahead. And I look forward to seeing you all back on Monday, and hopefully we can do more cool stuff as always. So until then, thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend, and be kind and kick butt.